campers, it's Jenny and Karina, and we're going to be talking about the 6 classes of wheat. This activity can be found under the wheat germ DNA lesson within Ag in the Classroom. Let's talk about a few of the materials we're going to need today. You're going to need the samples or images of the 6 classes of wheat, the wheat information cards, the 6 classes of wheat activity sheet, single-sided, and the products made from wheat. You're only going to need 1 vertical strip per person. You're also going to need scissors, clear masking tape, glue, and a magnifying glass if you have one, but this activity can be done without one.
Thanks for going over the materials list with us, Karina. Before we get started on our activity, I have a question for you. Can you tell me what this is a picture of?
Looks like it's a field, and there's a crop grown in that field. There's some green and gold kernels. Is it a wheat field?
It is. Good job. This is a wheat field. Do you know why wheat is grown?
I know we use it in breads and pastas. Is there more?
There is. So in addition to bread and pasta, wheat kernels are used for a variety of products. These products include postage stamp adhesives, straw particle board, paper, hair conditioners, medical swabs, charcoal, and biodegradable plastic eating utensils.
Wow, that's awesome. Who knew wheat were in so many things? Now, why are there 6 classes of wheat then?
That's a great question. Each of these classes has their own specific characteristics or traits. These traits determine the hardiness, shape, color, and what products can be produced. Each of these 6 classes of wheat all have their own unique climate that they can be grown in, and specific planting and harvesting seasons. For example, spring wheat is planted in the spring and then is harvested in the late summer, early fall. Meanwhile, winter wheat is planted in the fall and then is harvested in the spring. So now that we've learned a little bit more about the characteristics of each of the 6 classes, let's investigate them further.
A couple things we need to do before continuing with this activity is cut a strip of the wheat products and then cut each individual picture out. Then, if you don't have the wheat samples, go ahead and do the same thing with the 6 different classes of wheat and cut 1 vertical strip and then cut out each individual picture. Now, once you have this done, your next step is to take the top sheet of the activity page and cut horizontally across the dotted lines. You're going to leave the side where it says 6 classes of wheat intact, and you're going to glue on the back side of that and then firmly attach it to the left-hand column of the second page. Once these are cut and glued together, it's going to look a little bit like this.
Alright campers, now that you have your activity sheets prepared as Karina told us how to, we are going to go ahead and get our station set up. If you're doing this activity by yourself, you'll need 1 copy of each of the informational cards. If you're doing this activity as a group or in a class, you'll need to set up 6 stations, 1 for each of the classes of wheat. Each of the students will then travel around to each of the stations and visit the information card, kernels, and take data down on their activity sheets. So, when you arrive at your station with the information card, you're going to take your activity sheet and write down all of the information that you can find about that particular class of wheat. You will then take either your kernel samples or the images of your kernels and observe them. Look to see if you can find any specific characteristics. Go ahead and paste those kernels or the image of that kernel to the box that is closest to the spine where you glued the 2 pages together. That second box is going to be where you will paste the products that you think this class of wheat makes. All of the information that you'll need for this activity sheet can be found within those information cards, so make sure you're being good investigators and read diligently. Let's go ahead and complete the activity together, Karina. All right, State Fair campers, now that you've completed your activity sheet, your sheet should look a little like Karina's.
I have in the first box my kernel, in the second box the product of wheat that can be made, and then filled in I have the hardiness, shape, color, products, and where it's grown.
All right, campers, now that you've collected all of this information, you should be able to make a few conclusions about these 6 classes of wheat. So Karina, can you tell me about 2 of the classes of wheat that seem the most similar to each other out of the total 6?
Based off of the information I gathered, I found that hard red winter wheat and hard spring wheat both have the same color, shape, and hardness.
That's great. What similarities and differences were you able to spot out, campers?
I noticed after looking at the different classes of wheat, there's hard and soft wheat. Now, do you know the difference?
Sure. According to information provided by Ag in the Classroom, hard wheat tends to have a higher protein content. Protein content is important because that is what develops gluten. Gluten is what helps our bread rise, creating more strength, elasticity, and that chewy texture that all of us love in our bread loaves.
So, which is better for making bread?
The hard wheat would be better for making bread due to that higher protein content.
Now that we're talking a little bit about products made from wheat, cake and bread, both made from wheat, but very different textures. Now, does cake have hard or soft wheat?
Cake would actually utilize soft wheat because it would have a lower protein content, causing a lower gluten development. This is important because it forms more of a light, flaky texture. Karina, now I have a question for you. I'm a big fan of pasta. From the information that you gathered, can you tell me which of the 6 classes would be best for making dried pasta?
Durum would be the best for making pasta. It's high in protein content and has lots of gluten strength. This allows the pasta to be firm and hold its shape.
Wow, Karina, we've learned so much today about the 6 classes of wheat. We hope you campers learned a little something too, and maybe we'll look at those products made from wheat a little bit differently. Don't forget to take pictures for your Junior State Fair Ambassador application, and we hope to see you next time in Cam's classroom.
Bye.